Welcome back to my channel. What are we gonna talk about today? I have a very exciting topic that I'm gonna talk about, which is phones. We all have them. We all use them, and we seem to have no way of living without them. So let's dive into it. First, let me share some of comments from my last video. Hey, Bambi, are you still single? Mrs. Smooth. Rrr. Yes, I am. So, going back to the topic. By the way, for those who haven't watched my prior episodes, I have a very wide sense of humor, and I believe humor is healthy. It's absolutely necessary for our existence. If we take everything seriously and can't process things with humor, it has really negative effect on everything. We will be too stressed, too serious, too boxed in our own reality. So humor is healthy. That's what I do here, what I practice. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but this is my channel, so I like it. Hope you like it too. With time, maybe. So, phones. Well, how come we have existed and lived for thousands of years and constantly kept on improving our life, kept on inventing things, moving forward? And now there seems to be no way to live, absolutely no way to live, unless you walk around with this thing or sit with that thing in your hand and keep staring at it and swiping. Well, have we gone too far? So let's dive into the details. I'm gonna be using my sheets again because my mind wears off. So, what is the good side of phones? What do they give us? Well, it's a personal take. I'm gonna share my take. I think there are very few things that I found good with the phones. I think getting directions from point A to B, which could be actually done by using a GPS, but the phone may be a little bit better. Yes, it's an awesome feature. And if you do something and you forget how it's done, or if you are getting into something new and you quickly need to look up because you are missing a step, you are getting a little bit lost, or you don't know, you just look up a shortcut, a way to do it. Boom, it's right there. That's great. And also this video, it's a prime example how to become a better person, better man. It's, you can look me up on the phone, but on the computer too. Online banking, yeah. Well, we don't have to go to that bank. Stand online, it's awesome. And maybe a few other things, whatever you are into, hobbies. Little apps that help you get your motivation up. Increase your efficiency in things a little bit this way, that way. Yeah, that's a few good things. That's about it. That's how I look at it. Now, what do I see as a bad side of phones? Well, first of all, they make us lazy, because instead of getting up, exercising, doing things, walking between places, we just sit down, pull that device, and start staring, start scrolling endlessly. Makes us boring, because once we start crawling, we sooner or later we wind up being on the same sites, looking at the same things, and many of them, or most of them, don't make any sense, but yet we keep coming back. So we become more boring. Instead of putting something new in our heads, our feed our interests or open ourselves to new interests, to new hobbies, new information. We are just boxing ourselves in the same scrolls. We become also closed minded because the way the phones are made, that they come with features, apps, they come with certain ways of keeping us engaged in a certain topic that someone is profiting from, or just generally profiting from a screen time because advertisers come in if there is interest. So, yeah, we keep doing the same thing, and instead of expanding our mind, we stop and we go in reverse. With time, it becomes an addiction because what initially started as a very, very naive pleasure that took a little bit of time turned into an average of 7 hours per person screen time. And there are people that do 10 hours. That's screen time between the phones and TV. But generally, most of it is spent on the phones. So we live in times where we are so busy. We claim we absolutely have no time for exercise, healthy lifestyle, healthy food, human conversations. We can't just talk to one another because in the middle of the second sentence, we have to go. We have to go because we're out of time because we're so busy. And the day goes through and we don't do anything positive, healthy for ourselves. But yet, at the end of the day, we rack up an average of 7 hours screen time. Wow. So let's just be honest with ourselves. It's a bunch of crap that we've been using. Yeah, we don't have time to leave our closed environments, to go outside, walk in the fresh air, exercise in the fresh air, meet interesting people, engage in human conversations, not necessarily agreeing with everything, but engaging in conversations, learning something new, thinking a little bit deeper. No, we don't have time because that's nonsense. Because we do have time for the scrolls that make us laugh or push us into stupid, endless, brainless rabbit holes that someone is profiting from, but not us. We become detached from reality. We start believing in things that can be looked up in 5 seconds and just broken into dust. But if we believe in them, whoa! Because it's on our scrolls. We clicked on one innocent of those, and they keep sending. And 2-3 years later, that's our world. And yeah, those cute, funny, dancing fish, cats, they're so cute, Why not look at them? Yeah, 3 hours later, yes, why not? Now, we have survived for all those years, thousands of years. And now, adding to the bad list, our depression level in society is off through the roof. Everyone's depressed. People claim that they don't have time to do anything, yet they are so depressed. Well, anxiety level is through the roof. Teen depression, suicide, off the charts. We lack of basic human skill to talk one with another. We don't yet the screen time. So where are we going? I mean, have we really lost our minds, our touch with reality? Because a bunch of people a while back came up with an idea how to create this little device, how to put some software that keeps feeding us generally nonsense, stupidity, endless rabbit holes, and some good information. Some good information. So we abandon everything and stick with it. Yet, it just depletes our brain function, depletes our ability to formulate a healthy thought, our desire to live, our desire to improve our life, our interest to engage with normal human interactions, because now we have it. It's so easy. You don't have to do a thing. You literally have to just flick your finger, and that worst drug of all time, much worse than all the drugs ever existed, right in your hand. It's right here, and it's publicly available and made feel like it's so necessary. Where's our self-worth? Why do we look at our teenagers and like worrying out, they are so weak, they spend so much time on the phone. But let's look back. Let's look back to the beginning. Where does it start? So let's say you have a family and that welcomes a brand new child. It's just a matter of months, maybe 2 years, where most people start handing those phones to little children because they have the cutest apps. Like we're busy, right? We are busy, right? So we have to hand that little thing because it helps us so much, little by little. But by the age of 4, that child is so dependent on the phone that that child doesn't want to play with blocks, draw, run, do anything physical because the screen and the stupidity that it brings is so much more appealing. Constant rush of visual images that keep flicking through, and that's it. So what do? A lot of us ignore it. Just because the child is quiet. Why? Right? Why bother? Why? Because it takes an effort to get this child out, do something, and as a toddler, that's kind of hard because they get tired quickly, they cry a lot, they may be unhappy about something they can't even communicate about. But so the phone is the best pacifier, right? Wow. So this is how we start. And what do? We get on the phone as well. So our little child growing up, inhaling that poison already, is looking at us that we are doing the same thing at the same time. Yet we claim we're so busy. Somehow, never busy enough to scroll. So what do? We just continue with this. And then the child goes to school, and there's social pressure because everyone has, and she has better phone, he has better phone, this better. Yeah, you have to keep up, right? Why not? Because everyone has to keep up. That's the society thing now going on. You have to keep up, right? But when you step back, it's what do you keep up, trying to keep up with? It's shallow, it's empty. But you cave in and you start keeping up with others, right? We move on, and kids turn into teenagers. They go through a lot of changes in their heads. Hormones are mixed up, rushing in, rushing out. What happens? That little child that was doing maybe 2 hours, 3 hours on the phone, now turns into 5 to 10 hours. And what information that teenager is getting through the phone? A pure poison, mostly. Self-worth of teenagers drops to minimum level. They think that in order for them to be normal, they have to keep up with all that nonsense, that stupidity on the phone, clicking, comparing, and sending images. They are introduced to mind-blowing things at age of 10 that parents mostly refuse to acknowledge because they're quiet, right? They just go to their rooms, they lock themselves in their rooms, and they stay there. You don't have to do. You don't have to take them out and play ball. You don't have to do anything, right? Because they're nicely quiet. Wow, that is some parental um, approach, really. So what do we do? Yeah, they on the phones, we on the phones because we all busy, right? And then maybe a tragedy strikes. There is a lot of bad things, emotional, mental tragedies that happen, physical tragedies because someone can't take the pressure of the social media bullshit. So, and then what do? We just wake up and like, well, where were you when your child was 2, 3 years old and you handed the phone instead of toys? Well, it was so hard to play with your own child. Well, it was the lack of time because you had to work so much, this and that. Yet you racked up average 7 hours of screen time a day. Who are you kidding? Who are you really kidding? Because you really have to answer a billion questions every single day. And while you answer those questions that you didn't have for centuries, right? You click innocently on something, and now, 5 years later, hundreds of things show up, and you still have to keep getting engaged in those, right? Pure nonsense. Well, let's move forward. The teenager turns into a college kid trying to figure out things. I visited my daughter in her college, and I was just sitting there filming my episodes and observing students. 95% of them walk around with a phone like this, like it's the third hand. 95%, maybe more. Wow. And then what happens next? We finish, I don't know, high school, trade school, college, and then we go into life and we are bombarded by the social pressure about how rich we have to be, how quickly, because we have to keep buying all that stuff, otherwise, who are we without all that fancy stuff, gotta get it quick. So we get more on the phones because we have to keep up with times, and then, maybe start a relationship or continue another relationship, maybe get married and have children. Are we even able to be to do basic parental duties if we've been doing things on digital drugs for the last 10, 15 years? We are so poisoned, so detached from normal reality. We can't function. Yet we start a family. What are we going to teach our family, our kids? And the phone, I don't know. As soon as they are able to hold something, there you go. There you go. Keep quiet. Stay on it, because I will give you an example how to stay on it. I can stay all day. I'm busy, but where are we going with this? Some say, well, you can't stop this because this is the future. This is the direction, the only direction. I absolutely disagree, and especially for men. We don't need much to be real, healthy, strong men. We don't need extra white tires on a pickup truck, or bake hand, or do 600 pounds bench press. That's not how you characterize a man. We need strong mind, ability to distinguish the difference between right and wrong, and having balls to step in when you need to step in. Like, you put that phone away. You don't bring it to family table. You don't allow everyone to stay on the phone wherever, however they want. You engage in normal human interactions with your family. And if your spouse becomes obsessed with trends to keep up with social media, start a conversation. Be persistent. Make sure you stick to the real human basis, who we really are. Because if you change your lifestyle, get off that stupid phone, get out there, live healthy, exercise, eat healthy, minimize your screen time to less than an hour. Yes, you can live on an hour a day. Yes, you can. I bet the depression level drops way down. Anxiety level, self-respect goes up. Interest in hobbies, in life, in human nature, in conversations, acceptance, point of view. But everyone has to do it. Oh, it's so hard because once you start doing it, everybody else is looking at you as the bad one, the one that causes trouble, or the one that's abnormal now because you don't post your pictures. You go to the diner, dinner, whatever. You don't take pictures of your meal and post, or you go somewhere, vacation, and you have to post it. You don't do that, so it's, who gives? You know what I mean? Who cares? Is it really you live for that recognition? Is this really that important? You live for them, for the internet things? Or for yourself and your family? That's where we're going. This is dead end. We have come to a complete dead end, and we refuse to turn around and do something about it. Because scrolling through stupidity and finding every possible excuse to turn around, so appealing that really, well, I'm very passionate about this because I have a very strong approach against the phones, and I believe we have crossed the line of repairing of our society, because the amount of people that do make a difference, that live a healthy lifestyle and get off the phones and want to engage with human contact, is getting smaller and smaller because of the social pressures. But yet, personally, if I'm the last one, I will be the last one happy, because I don't want to be part of that digital stupidity where a small group of people is making profit from our brain cancers, and making us totally dependent on nothing, on emptiness. I made my choice. I teach my kids to make their choices, help them. But it's not easy. Not easy, because everywhere you go, you see someone, that broken neck, staring at nothing. Well, hopefully, one or two people watching it at some point will make a positive difference and get off that stupid phone. Till next time.